What up, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Jess. Welcome back to another Madden 17 video. So today, I have a video that's a little different. Having a conversation with somebody who is just with mind-blowing knowledge of how Ultimate Team is. And I wanted to get him to share his thoughts and views on everything so you guys can just experience his knowledge of what he has to say. When every time I have a conversation with him, it absolutely just blows my mind of just how right he is with everything. So you guys are not familiar with him. This is Dream Killers, who was he made sugar. You made sugar, Dream.
Made quarter. He got spread.
Was one of the best defensive mindsets in Madden, but stopped doing that because he seen the potential in Ultimate Team, and then he started going on ahead and getting more into Ultimate Team, and he got fascinated with how the auction block works and being able to make coins off of cards and things like that. So one thing that I first want you to address is what are your thoughts on how EA does things with their packs and the odds and all that stuff that they do that people complain about?
I mean, it's genius. I mean, I wish I invented it. It's a great thing that they do. I mean, for the guys that aren't familiar or are familiar with the game, I mean, it's basically set up for EA to maximize profits, just like any corporation. It's about reducing cost, maximizing profits. They are a publicly traded company, which means that the reputation and livelihood of their company revolves around stock price, so it has to go up. I know earlier on this year, even like EA talked about pack odds, and people were making this huge big deal about pack odds. But they don't understand that the fundamental about it is increasing pack odds has burnt people in the long run. Card prices have never tumbled in any year I've watched MUT like they have this year. The database, I think there's like 5,000 cards, of which at least 1/3 of them, if not 40% of them, are terrible cards that you don't even want to pull, which means every time you spend $100 on a bundle, you're already at what? And then even base elite. So you can go up to 90 some, and I'd say 80% of the entire database is junk that you can pull. And then they don't teach people, even on the flip side, that, hey, because of the amount of YouTubers, because of the amount of demand for these really good cards, it's driving the prices up, keeping the people at the bottom, making it even harder for them to get to the point where they want to be. And EA is not really just being upfront and like, hey guys, this is a really expensive hobby now. This isn't something that costs you $60 at the store. If you want this team that Mr. Golden Sports has, if you want that team that Toke has, if you want that team that your favorite YouTuber has, get ready to come out your pocket, because they have vested interest.
At least 10. At least. If you're doing it the right way. And when we say the right way, that's not purchasing coins. That's obviously the most efficient way to get whatever team you want, right? You buy coins, you get the players. But if you're doing it the right way,
that's right,
buying packs and then putting those cards on the auction and making your coins, it's going to cost you at least $10,000 to get a team similar to your favorite YouTuber that they have at the minimum. Now, one thing you just said that a few minutes ago before I wanted to get on and have the conversation for YouTube was, you said people aren't even factoring, and I never even thought about this, factoring in the amount of YouTubers and streamers that have the card. So if they come out with 100 players for golden ticket, they come out with a golden ticket Ben Roethlisberger, at least 30 YouTubers are going to have them. You got 20 streamers that are going to have them. So that just leaves about half of what regular people who don't make income off of this to be able to get those cards.
Yeah, and again, I'm all for rarity. I'm for that. I'm for free market, though. You see, the principal things that I think are wrong with this game that they've taken away, the tax. The EA tax is completely unnecessary. Tax is unnecessary pretty much in any economy, but 5% is more than fair. They took things away, like you're only allowed to auction 20 items at a time, and I get it. They don't want to saturate their market, but they're also limiting the efficiency of your time. You know what I mean? Like when you're playing your game, you're a guy that buys a lot of packs, right?
This is true.
You would think they'd have a feature for you that's like, damn, you buy so many packs, Mr. Golden Sports, we're going to allow you to offer 40 items at a time, or 30. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, limit me to 20. And then on top of it, I have to pay tax on the pack or the bundle that I buy, right? So you pay 100 plus the 7% tax or 10% tax, whatever, right? And then you pull these packs that they should be grateful that you buy the right way, right?
The right way. Yeah, that's important. The right way.
And then they tax you on the amount that you sell the card for. It's like, oh my goodness. Even if you pull 1 million coins worth of cards, you only end up with 900K unless you want those players for your team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
Dude, you get taxed on both sides, and they don't, again. So nonetheless, I mean, where I'm going with it is I'm basically have a website coming out that I got the workaround to it. Basically the sugar blitz of the auction house. But in the meantime, EA just has a really good formula. They're not educating the people about it. They're obviously winning doing that. But again, tax, they've taken, have you ever played the hockey game?
Never.
Man, their ultimate team, not saying that it's any better, but you can search by price, which is a great parameter that's missing from Madden. And then the trade block, man, you can offer up to, I believe, 3 or 4 cards and coins for a trade. Okay? So imagine that.
There's no scamming there. Like, it's impossible. You can't scam. You can't say, hey, for this Michael Vick, I'll trade you Donovan McNabb and Steve McNair. Well, okay, that's even. But then, you have to offer your McNair on this bronze stadium. And then, with that style, you can't get scammed. You can say, okay, offer both these cards on Vick. And then once you see it, you accept it and everybody's happy. Great. I didn't even know hockey did that. That's amazing.
It is. And it's one of those things that's like, look, if they bring that to Madden, all that does is help. Like the essence of me trading cards back in the day, collecting cards was sometimes to trade with my friends and collect, you know what I mean? But sometimes I have extras of some cards. They got some extras of some cards. Why go to some middleman, EA, get taxed on it, and then buy what he has? It's like, let me just go right to him direct, EA. You know what I mean? It's like they want to be the middleman and get you from every end, and I get it, but enough's enough, And I think if they had enough people on the bandwagon of not pack odds, that's not going to help you keep the money in your pocket. The things that are going to help you get money in your pocket is by EA being like letting the market be the market, like supply and demand determine the prices, give us what we need, and like tools. Example like with Muthead, more information the better. They don't even track like badges anymore for us or anything like that. So like let us get that number. Put the player cards back on the back of the cards, right? Something so simple that people were talking about before. It was getting a big scamming tool. Is that right?
Well, yeah. Apparently they would put it. For 10 million coins, buy now, and then you would see, which I've done a few times. I really want this card. There's only one up, but I seen this gamer tag, so I would contact them, message, try to negotiate a price. But apparently some people were getting scammed that way, saying, okay, trade me these cards for this, and then they would accept cards on lower tier cards and never get the card that they want.
Right, and you know how they get the workaround for that?
Taking the
That's so easy, apparently. Such an easy. They could probably have one flick of a switch on their thing that says, do you want to option in to the trading card, or like to have your name displayed on the card? And then they would have their own terms of service for that. And that is telling you, they would have a video of you and IMAV, for example, and Toke, or the most popular YouTubers that come together on one video and just be like, look, guys, us YouTubers, we're never going to ask you guys for cards. Nobody's duplicating cards. Nobody's doing this. Don't trade with them unless you know them. You know what I mean? Basically, warning them of everything that could happen.
Well, they want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of the trade block. They actually got rid of it pre-release, but then there was a big upstorm on Twitter, and they brought it back. And I remember they released a form, them saying, the trade block is now back again because they originally got rid of it. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. It's just another way for them to get money. And EA, if you are listening, I understand you guys want to limit the amount of coins being sold. Because, yes, guys, there are people buying coins out there. And not that I would ever recommend it. But EA, you guys do need that. Because you guys don't offer your big customers that spend thousands, even hundreds of dollars on your game. You don't offer them any out. So next year, after you dupe them and don't tell them that this game's going to cost them thousands of dollars in order to have the best team, and then they get suckered in because we all have addictive personalities and we're all competitive that play this game, so we want to have the best to give ourselves the best opportunity to win. So after that, the end game is, well, look, you can't trade our currency or we're going to ban you. After spending thousands of dollars, you want to trade your currency in for something else? We don't even want you to be our customer anymore. Like, the heck with you. And then they try to turn your system off for the rest of the year. It's like, come on, man. Tell me that the game was going to cost me $5,000 before I do it, and then I could get it. Here, $5,000, you can't return it in. Anything else that we go and buy, what happens if you buy the only copy of Madden and for some reason the shipment gets lost? That copy of Madden's worth how much money? All these people that get it at early release, how much money is that worth? They resell it. EA don't care.
It's true.
They don't care that people sell. Like, EA's so genius that one time they used to have people that tested the game, right? And they came out with some generic ebook that like went along with the game to teach people like how to get so good.
Yeah.
Right. And it was cool, man. And shout out to Z Farls and S Gibbs, great guys. But afterwards, it's like people started to figure out with the YouTube evolution and all the websites coming up teaching people how to get quote unquote good at Madden. But getting quote unquote good at Madden involved glitches, right? Nano blitzes, basically cheese plays.
Things that gave you it basically gave you an unfair advantage, because if I knew an A gap that would come in every single time and you just didn't know how to stop it, you were not going to beat me.
Right. You see, and then there was a time, now I can't quote because I wasn't personally involved with this, but that EA sort of came after the people that used Madden in their name for strategy sites, right? But now it's almost like they make alliances with these sites and use them as their cheap game testers. So it's like, we'll let them spend their resources.
Yeah, I remember Rex, whenever they wanted to patch the blitzes last year, they bought Young Kiv's ebook, they bought Problems ebook just so they could know what blitzes were coming in, and so they could try and patch them and stuff like that. But yeah,
so
them themselves are buying them.
Right, Problem, Kiv, anybody else out there listening to, next year make your ebooks like $299 a piece for EA or something, and then let them buy it. So you basically get your employment benefit back out before they make you switch your ebook back, like they didn't used to back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah.
When it was worth it. Yeah. But now here's the thing, man. You see, the auction house is now their baby. They know that the coins and stuff, that's their go-to. So they're going to almost I don't know, you remember that one time they had that live stream where they said that they were going to, even though they had this nano detection system, they were going to still leave some, bait out there, some little hidden gems for those websites to find, and they were almost going to leave us alone type thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't say, because why? They were going to put more resources, in my opinion, to MUT, which makes sense. It's more profitable. But at the end of the day, there are ways, I feel like, I could spend $0 and have the team that you have.
It sounds crazy, people. Now you may sit there and look like it's impossible for him to spend nothing and for him to have a team that cost me over 10,000. But it's honest to God, on my son's life, he's not lying about this. He has a system and he has resources and tools that I've seen, that I've used myself, to where this man can get a lot of coins by doing things within the terms of service, by not doing anything, crazy, by not buying coins, by just using the auction house the right way. It's insane. I've never seen anything like it.
That's it, and that's the part that I want to bring to the forefront. Hopefully after the discussion, and we've talked numerous times behind the scenes. It's just trying to find the best way to launch it. But I do feel like we have the tools. Me and the team that I've been working with, I'm real blessed to have found some really good guys to work with, and they're just as knowledgeable, if not more so, than I am. And it's basically like a combination of it. We come together, we teach you guys what you need to know. We're going to set the right expectation for you. We're going to teach you the stuff that EA is hesitant to show you, be honest about. And then really, if anything, for the people that follow the formula, no different than you would buy an ebook, this is one that they can't patch. I'll be honest, any workaround that they get, because this is an economy and I got this thing figured out, basically whatever they do, we can counter. But the whole point of this would be to teach people how to do it so they could spend either less money or no money. And then for the people that are out there spending money, like you would spend your money more efficiently. How I was talking to you before. It's like if you're one of those guys that are spending $10,000 plus, don't you think it's fair that in some weird way that you'd be able to save 30-40% playing this game?
That would, my goodness. 30% of what I spend would be thousands.
Right, and then again, you have a son, so you got responsibilities, and I don't. It's just one of those things where I feel like I know I can help you do it. Again, I've just started showing you the system and stuff, so you've just started seeing like how it works and for yourself. But we've had this thing basically in place for a while now. It's just, again, we were talking about this behind the scenes too. It's like, how do you bring this to every person? We were talking before. The thing is, guys, it's not only cards that pop up, but there's cards that you're holding on to right now that you're undervaluing, you're overvaluing, and you're just not being the most efficient with your stuff. And that's where we're going to come in, basically.
This is what I want to bring up. Two things. One thing is that I'll never forget the Night Train Lane Easter set last year. No, 2 Maddens ago. No, was it last year?
Yeah, last year.
Last year. Okay. And when you said this,
that's right.
I wanted to break something, and I was happy until you gave me this bit of information. One little nugget that you said had me wanting to break something. If you guys remember, Night Train Lane had an Easter card, Strong Safety Edition, or Free Safety, whatever. And in order to do the set, you had to get a whole bunch of Easter players that go into the set. And there was one card in particular that it was the offensive lineman from the Cowboys. You remember his name? Zach Martin, right?
Zach Martin.
Martin. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, I remember we were talking back then, and you had asked me if I was doing a set and if I had Night Train, and I said, yeah, but I'm waiting on one card. And you already knew. Let me guess, Zach Martin? Yes. But I was like, it's ridiculous. Like, Sammy Watkins was in that set. And I was like, I got him for like 600, and I got all these other cards, and I'm already into the set more than what the card cost. But Zach Martin, even though he was going for $1 million, he was still cheaper than Night Train Lane. So at that point, I might as well spend $1 million and finish the set instead of just buying Night Train for 1.7. Even though I already put 1.7 into the set. And you had told me, Jess, do you know how many Zach Martins were sold? And I said, I have no idea. You said within the last 2 days, I think there was like 3 of them that were sold. And I said, what? 3 of them? I was like, so you telling me that they released probably 10 Zach Martins have sold since the program came out? Like, that's information I feel like we need to know, is the fact that they're going to release only 10 of them. Nobody's going to keep the card, right? He wasn't the best guard at the time, so you're not going to pull. So it's not like, a bunch of people had them on their team just holding on to them.
Yeah, it's right.
No, people bought them for the set. So you telling me only, 15 of them could be done?
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. And that was a great point. I forgot about that one almost.
Something that they didn't tell us. And then another great point that you had said is value, that they don't let us know what cards are dropping. Like, we were talking when Michael Vick came out. Michael Vick, when he came out, because he retired, and we all know they threw him out on a Friday because once they retired, they don't have the rights to them anymore. And we found that out last year when people wanted to make a golden ticket Calvin, and they couldn't. They said, we're not illegally, we can't do it. We don't own the rights to them anymore. They're no longer part of the NFL. But if a player retires, they have like a 24-hour window to put a card out because the paperwork hasn't been put in the NFL yet. So that's why DeMarcus Ware got a card on like a random Tuesday, and that's why Michael Vick got a card randomly on a Friday, within 12 hours of him retiring, because they have a short window of when they still have the rights to him. So they put out of nowhere Michael Vick career tribute, and what happens is that Aaron Rodgers, what once was 2 million coins, then became 1.4. Out of nowhere, he loses almost half his value. And you said that they don't allow us to know what cards are coming out, and that is what kills everything. Yeah,
I mean, even in a real stock market, companies have to tell the public that it's called an IPO, but they basically tell them, hey, we're going public. So here's the thing, guys. For example, if Apple had everything, like their iWatch, all their computers and iPhones and everything under this umbrella of Apple, and they told you on Friday they were coming out with Apple II, similar to like a Vick coming out and then like a golden ticket Vick coming out pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? For the market to be at its most efficient, it wouldn't hurt EA. Well, I guess technically it would hurt them, but it would help its people to know in advance, hey, there's a Michael Vick coming out, and it should be fair game. Agree? Would you say something like that? It's like we should be able to be knowledgeable of anything that's coming out in their game, in my opinion. It's just something that,
like, if on Monday they said, what legends are going to come out on, Saturday. Let's say on Monday they say, by the way, in 6 days, new Amon Green is going to come out. Then people are still going to sell their running backs how they do. But I think it's just crazy how cards literally lose value, just snap of a finger, just like that. A card that you bought for 2 million coins, you're now selling for 1.4, and then you're getting taxed on that. And just 3 days ago he was 2 million, and now you got 1.2 out of him, just like that, out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and that constantly happens. And you had told me that they control the market because they put out the cards whenever they want. If they want the wide receiver market to drop, here's a new Larry Fitzgerald just like that. That Des Bryant that you bought 2 days ago is now going to, go down in price because we want to go on ahead and release a new card and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, number one, I think it's unfair. Number two, you need to work around. And you know how we were just talking about that Zach Martin a minute ago?
Yeah.
Let me flip back to one.
I'm still pissed about that Zach Martin.
No, I know. But here, think about how many guys are upset right now with the Speed Vick, okay? Now, Speed Vick is that 92 Vick card that you need, I believe, to get the 98. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 98 Vick sells for, he's sitting on the auction house all day for $900. You know what I mean? Like right now, I think his price is a little bit higher on Xbox, okay? Now, that 98 card itself sells for that. Well, because there's so many people sitting on this speed, waiting for the speed card to come out, how much do you think the speed card's going for? The 92.
400, 300?
It just sold 4 hours ago for $860.
Jesus.
It sold several. Dude, the last time it was up was March 26th, man. March 24th, March 22nd. So there's people that EA, unfortunately, because they don't teach the people. Like, number one, they don't teach them not to put the cards into the set until they have all the cards because then they screw themselves. But number two, it's, hey, guys, we're only going to put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was 10 sold in the last 2 weeks. So think about that. If you've been waiting for Vick, that means you got about a 1 in however many chance. And by the time you actually get him, he's going to be worth less than what the set cost you. You get it? So it's like, what? It's ridiculous, man. It literally is ridiculous. But either way, they're going to get away with it until kind of people put their foot down to it. Or start doing my method. It's one or the other.
So what would you feel like if you had to say just one thing that they need to change, or us as a community need to do better of to stop, the things it is that's going on? Because, like I said, they just randomly drop cards and you want these cards and they're super expensive, but, like you said, they have 5,000 cards that are, less than 3K. How do you, how can people just get better teams? What can they do?
Number one, they can seek help. No different than somebody that's suffering at the game. Our website's going to be live, guys. I've just been trying to get as much content as we can, but MUT University is going to be their number one source. We're going to pick out and help these guys maximize any money that they would have spent on the game. And anybody like you that does, we're going to help you get the most amount for your coins. We're going to show you cards that you can invest into that will make you coins later on. Ways to hedge. Like, if you're going to be one of the guys that always are buying bigger cards, you need to find a way to hedge basically the loss that you're going to inherently get from being one of the first to have the card. That's going to happen. We're going to set that expectation for you, but then we're also going to show you how to compensate for that by buying other cards that will go up in value so you don't technically lose. Do you follow me?
Yep.
So seeking help's always number one. You got to find somebody that's willing to help you make the coins, get the better team. But if from an EA perspective, we want cheaper tax. 5% would be great. Tax-free would even be better, but 5% would be great. We want the player names back on the card so we can negotiate with people. At least give them the option to turn it on or off so we can talk to them. That will help bring prices down. We always want prices down because that makes it more affordable for people. Agree?
Yeah. But okay. Then people are going to scam, though. It's going to happen. And then because that's not part of terms of service, though. If somebody goes on ahead and has their name on the card and they hit them up and they want this Michael Vick and they say, hey, I'm feeling generous today. You trade me your Steve McNair and I'll send it to you. And they, offer your Steve McNair on this stadium and they do it. And you can't report them. They didn't do anything wrong. Okay, they lied to you, but that's not nothing that EA can do. They can't ban that person because they didn't do anything wrong. They lied to him, but, it's going to happen.
Right, but ultimately, it's two things, man. I'm sorry, like, people that are ignorant or people that believe in these too good to be true stories, that's one thing. Now, the third point was to basically enlarge the trade block to offer more trades so something like that wouldn't happen. But for the guys, again, there would be, I think, enough information out there, and MUT University is going to push it. I know anybody that I advertise with, we talked about it before. Just tell people, like, hey, guys, like cigarette companies at this point don't even have to advertise to smoke anymore. They tell you not to smoke. But, they're like, you're going to – exactly. So we could tell them, hey, guys, look, there's going to be all these impersonators of IMAV, Toke, and all these other popular YouTubers. They're going to pretend to be them.
You're not even going to name me. I'm not popular no more. I know my
Mr. Gold, right.
Thank you.
Mr. Gold, I'm sorry. But you get it. They're going to say that. They're going to say, hey, my dad made Madden. He can duplicate cards. They're going to say, hey, man, I'll give you 3 of the best cards in the game for that one that you got. They're going to say everything. But ultimately, that has to be fractional to the amount of people. Before, I can't tell you the amount of coins and deals we made that people would be happy with, because number one, sometimes most of the time you're helping the other person because they don't know any better. And then I can't tell you the amount of guys that could benefit. For example, say somebody like you, right? You buy a bundle for $100, okay?
Which
several times in a day.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I know guys.
I spent $300 today alone.
See? Now, I know guys that are, my age, 35 and up, have kids that do this. And sometimes, they're professional jobs and they don't have the time. If they had somebody like me, for example, they'd be like, hey, man, I'll buy everything you just pulled in your binder. Just I'm going to be straight honest with them because I can message them. Like, I need to make a percentage, but I'll buy everything in your binder right now that you don't want. And he's like, okay. And I do that. And then he gets his coins. I keep going about my day and everybody's happy. The same way as before. Sometimes people have these cards. They don't want to sell their card that's 1 million coins to get 900K back, to have to play some more solos and sell some more cards, to buy the card that was 1 million because they can't contact them to trade them their card. You follow me?
Yeah.
And it's, again, card collecting / the essence of it, in my opinion, is trading. That trade block's there for a reason. People just can't utilize it to the best of their ability because EA wants to stronghold people into buying more packs. Anyway, so we want a bigger trade block. We want less tax. We want more opportunity to make coins, and that's pretty much it.
So when you say more opportunity to make coins, you feel trading is a big way of being able to do that?
Yeah, that and tax. I mean, anything that increases your purchasing power. When people say that we want more pack odds, right? They want more of the same card. Do you get it? It's like, here, if Apple was going to have this much stock and you buy into that stock, and then they're like, here, we're going to increase that amount of stock. Well, everything that you just owned just got diluted. That's why these prices are dropping so fast. Do you follow me? Because there's more Michael Vick boss cards. So when the next card comes out, there's more of those cards on the market. Therefore, the price is going to drop faster. And now EA is accelerating the amount of cards that they do put out. Like in 2015, there was how many golden tickets? Like 19. Last year it was like 40.
Yeah, it was a lot last year.
So think about every single time you bought one, man, you were just getting crushed every single time. And this year, it's even worse. There's cards that were selling for over 1 million coins, like the David Johnson, the Randy Moss, and all that sell for 100,000 coins now. That means somebody basically paid almost $400 worth for a card that's now worth like technically $5 to $20. You know what I'm saying?
Which is yeah. When Randy Moss was out, I got the limited one for like 1.3, and yeah, right now that same card will go for, I don't know, 100K, 150K or something like that.
Yeah, and remember that debacle?
But there was something that happened with Moss. That's because he was the best card then, and he's not the best card now. Now right. The best card is, there's different opinions, but he's obviously not the best card out now, where back then he was.
Right, and that's part of the game, like planned obsolescence. I mean, that's part of MUT. That's no problem. The difference is the acceleration for him to drop that fast. You follow? Like in years past, that didn't happen like that. And I'll be honest, I don't have the stats to prove it right now, but Boss Vick would sell for even 500,000 coins all the way through the summer last year. You know what I mean? Like a good card is a good card. The ones that they have now, it's just they become so diluted, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you remember, for example, like that Mean Joe Green that you bought like in 2015? Just an example. That was like one of the first Ultimate Team cards to come out. Remember?
Yeah.
That card held its value all the way through the summer, technically. Remember?
I do.
That's what's missing now. It's no different. Like they have, whether it's the pack card.
So you think they're putting out more cards that are making things worse?
Well, they're accelerating it, yeah, and then when they're putting more in the packs, it's definitely hurting people in the back end because they're losing more value quicker. Like, if you go and search any of the cards, we've done the research. It's going to be live on the website. But pretty much every good card in the game is going to suffer within like 10 to 14 days because you're going to have that initial surge of demand. But the amount of fall off in a lot of those cards, especially skill set players, you're talking almost like a 30%, 40% decline.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, he was like, the smart thing to do is have a card. Let's say Dez Bryant comes out, and 90 overall Dez Bryant Team of the Week comes out, and he's 200K. The smart thing is, let's say you want to get the Dez, you get him, and then you sell him before his price goes down, and then you just rebuy him again, and that way you take less of a of a hit because he's going to go from 200 down to, oh well, now this newer wide receiver comes out and he then goes down in value. So your thing was to sell him like at the right time and just pick him back up again. Sell him for that 190 and then buy him again when he's down to 140. Just buy him again.
Yes. And people miss that point. I mean, I remember like somebody made a video about me and they were like, how does he have the same players and the same thing but more coins? Because I would watch the numbers, you know, and they'd be like, whether it's price fixing or whatever, I just knew the market. So I knew what the cards would sell for. I just had to be patient. And then once I learned my patience and the way that it works, it's just a matter of time before.
Yeah, this is one thing where I had no faith in you yesterday. I'll be honest. So he has this this amazing method of knowing what cards are cheap to try and buy and make profit off of. So I get a Gronkowski for like 130K. The cheapest was like 100. No, I think I got him for like 112K, and the cheapest was like 160 at the time. So I'm like, oh, I just got this Gronkowski for like 112K. Bet I'm gonna put up there for like 150, like 155, and I'm gonna make like 15K for doing nothing. He's like, no, why would you do that? Like, what do you mean, why would I do that? Because I'm gonna put it up for the cheapest. He's like, okay, well, the cheapest card right now expires in an hour, right? The next two expire in 5 hours, and Gronkowski's been selling 6 times a day. He sold 3 times today alone, and he's averaging 6 sales a day. So put it up there for like 180. I'm like, why the hell would I put him up there for 180? That's gonna put me that oh, I can't even speak. That puts me like 6th in line. Why would I put my card behind 5 other cards? And he's like, trust me, man, it's gonna go down. The other cards, you just have to be patient with things like this. You have to maximize. I'm like, you know what? All right, whatever. I'm just gonna do it. I put it up there, and of course, within 6 hours, it doesn't sell, right? And I go to sleep. I'm like, I know it's not gonna sell. I know. I wake up, and what happens? The Gronkowski sold. I made like 12 more K. Instead of putting him up there for 155, I sold him for 180. Being patient.
That's it. That's it, man.
And I would have never thought of something like that. Like, wow, who would think to put their card judging, okay, their card is going to expire soon, this card is going to be down, down, down. And then once all these cards are gone, if I'm patient enough, I will then be first in line. There's a demand for this card. Eventually it's going to sell. Just got to be patient.
That's it.
And I never would have thought of anything like that. Never in my life would I think to put my card 6th on the list.
See? Is it? And there's a lot of those times. Now, again, and we talked about this before, and there's so many we're going to go into, but most of it's going to be found on MUT University. I don't want to give too much away. But, guys, I mean, realistically, it just comes down, like, you have to manage this as if it's your money. So, like, people have 401ks. They have stock programs. If somebody's like you, man, $10,000, that means every single year that you play this game, like, you could be buying, like, chunks of like nice small amounts of real estate, a car, like going on these elaborate vacations. And I get it, man. Like you have a vested interest. Like you're going to get some income back by posting your videos and all that. And that's great. And a lot of guys do. But still, at the end of the day, your team at the end of the year is what? Something you have to give away. So it's like in the meantime, because that's what you sell on your coins, right?
It's worthless at that
basically
point when the new Madden comes out.
And it's very unfortunate that they don't let you have like an exit strategy to maybe get some of your money back or whatever. But in the meantime, it's like, let's make the most out of the time that you get to play the game. Not only can we help people spend less time on the auction house, right? Like guys, we're going to have a filter for you that shows you, I'm not even going to lie, we're going to have a filter that shows you every good buy basically on the auction house. Not ones that are always profit, but anytime you've been searching for your favorite cards and you're sick of looking on MUT and you're sick of looking on the auction house, waiting for your cards to pop up, we're going to have something, and we're just going to try to make it as easy as we possibly can for you. We're going to have a list of cards that we manually do every day. They're going to tell you really good buys on the auction house, cards that are selling at their all-time lows, that you could potentially, like Mr. Golden Sports basically just said, if you have a little bit of patience, you wait, you sell when the market goes back up, you make a lot of coins. And I can't tell you how many times we've done that, buy low, sell high. It's such an easy thing. People just don't do it because they don't believe it's possible.
Yeah, nobody knows. Like, who knows? Like, it's tough to say when a card is going to, like, you told me, I think you said you bought a bunch of Navarro Bowmans, and you had to wait like 3 days, but then the price went back up, and you end up making like really good profit off of them. Like, what makes a card go back up?
Well, a lot of the time it's just demand. Another card will come out. I can't remember exactly what card had come out that day. There was another middle linebacker or defensive player or something. But a lot of the times people freak out. So anytime there's a new card, this comes out, You know, for example.
Yeah, they're going to sell the Bowman to try and get the new Nishiki. So that way they can get coins to try to afford the new Nishiki.
Right. So what ends up happening is follow the leader. They go up. They see that the Bowman is 60,000, so they list their Bowman for 59. And then there's another guy that happens to have Bowman, and it's just timing. So you're like, wow, all these guys. The market just bottoms out real fast. And then as long as you're fast on it, you're like, hey, wow, look, this card's 30% below its quartile 1 price, which is basically like the lowest the price cards ever sold for. You're basically picking the bottom. And as long as you buy up the supply, you know that the card's selling. You can do the math. You could look real fast and say, hey, look, this card sold 9 times. So in the last hour, or 6 times in the last hour, there's demand for this card. People just, you basically just have to buy out the bottom. You follow me? And then once you know that, you're like, hey, look, this card has pretty much the potential to go back up to, what? Let's say in that particular card it was 20%. That card could go back up 20% by you just buying those bottom 3, knowing that there's still people buying it 6 times an hour. That probably sounded too complicated.
No, I definitely get it.
Dude, I forget what card you bought the other day too. That was one that I was like, here, list that card back up for hire. But basically, anytime that you see cards, you got to study the ones in back of it. If the card's selling an X amount of times an hour, and it doesn't even matter as long as it's selling and there's demand.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I did that again with. I bought of your filters. I bought the limited 93 Des. And again, you're like, it's been selling. It sold like 200K like just the other day. And the cheapest one, I bought it for like, it was like 120. And then the next one was like 150. And I was like, all right, well, this, decent price. I'll go in and put it for like 149. You're like, no, list it for like 180. And I'm like, again, why? Why am I going to post it more? And, you're like, because it's been selling this many times. It's selling this many times a day. People have bought it for 200K a few days ago. For whatever reason, it's low now. But, there's a demand for it. So put it up. And sure enough, 12 hours went by. The damn card didn't sold. But I wake up and, Dez and Gronk, those cards sold.
What did you sell Dez for? Do you remember?
I did not. But I know it was like 20K higher than what I was put it up for.
Yeah, see, he's about to be back up to 180 here in a little bit. I was just checking on him, actually. Yeah, see, and there's those cards. You just have to – it just takes patience, man. There's demand for certain cards. We're going to help people determine that so they takes all the homework out of it for them. But essentially, you just have to be patient. A lot of it, again, just take it as if every single card that you own is your money, and you want to do the smartest thing with your money is really what it comes down to. So that's what we're going to help people do.
Definitely.
But EA can help us. EA can help us by dropping the tax. EA can help us by putting the names on the back of the cards.
Your biggest thing is the tax. Is that like your number one thing is the tax?
Tax is crazy. Yeah.
Because you said essentially that is them taking coins away from us from playing the game and spending money. They're literally just taking coins away from you.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you have to think about this. If you really think about this deep or just from a macro level, the coins don't come from the cards.
Okay,
coins
first of all, real quick. That was a big word, macro. I thought of mac and cheese. What is that? I'm going to need you to explain that. I mean, for the viewers who don't know, I know what it means, but for the viewers who don't know what that means, what that mean?
Macro is just like a big picture. It's not it's saying it from a large scale, not something that's micro.
I knew that. I just wanted to make sure the viewers.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. All right. But the coins are produced by people playing the game, by EA giving customer grants, quick sales of cards, and basically quick sales in general. Because those are the only 4 ways you can generate coins right off the bat. Agreed?
Yeah.
Now, if nobody played solos, if nobody got customer grants, if nobody quick sold their cards, there would be no coins in circulation. Which means coins, you could buy a GT or whatever. You could buy a Boss Vick or that Des Bryant for 25 coins because nobody has any coins. You follow me?
Yeah.
So we earn the coins. EA doesn't tax us technically on those coins. Great. We could buy all the cards we want on the auction house by playing their game and not get any tax. But the minute that we have something that we don't want anymore, they want 10% of that, right? For what? They don't give us back any of that. They do. They give what? One boss card out a weekend with a retweet? It's like, come on.
And it's non-auctionable and tradable.
Yeah. All that does, we want purchasing power. The biggest thing that upsets me about this market is so close to being perfect. It's so free in so many ways, but the tax is killing people. It's really, think about it, man. Every time that you spend $100 and you just say you pulled, I don't know how much your team's worth right now. How much would you think your team's worth? Like 20 mil?
Probably, give or take.
Okay, so let's just say over the course of the year, you probably had about 30 million coins, right? Which of 3 million they taxed you, right? And that's not even to account for all the losses that you took during the year, and every time that you took cards that you bought again and then resold and took the tax again. You could tax yourself out of this game. Do you follow me? If you're not smart. Like if you're one of those guys, because I've seen them before, they buy a card, they're not happy with it, they go, they sell it. They play a couple more games, they buy the next card they want, they sell it. And they keep doing that, and then eventually they run out of coins. Do you follow me?
I didn't even think. Yeah, you're right. That absolutely can happen.
So 5% is like a great medium for somebody that they're like a weekend player, and they come on, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a pack, but I want to try Vick, but they don't like Vick, so they could sell Vick at 5% and still buy Brady or still buy somebody else that they like. But that 10%, man, when you sell a card that's 2 million, you lose 200,000 coins. That's a great player in this game. That's 3 great players in this game. That's a Des Bryant and somebody else, right?
He's a Cowboys fan, so of course he's going to mention Des. No. That's a great player. But
Bro,
yeah, one thing you had said was like when you broke down taxes, because I eventually, not eventually, but that was the wrong word, but I was like, I'm for the taxes. And you was like, why the hell would you be for taxes? And it was like, I get it, because in Madden, I think 13, there was no taxes. So people could literally make coins for doing nothing. If the cheapest Tony Romo was 15K and somebody lists their Romo for 12, you could buy it for 12, list it for 14, and with no tax, you literally just made 2 coins doing absolutely nothing. So I thought the taxes were to prevent things like that, to prevent people from making coins doing nothing, buying a card for 20, listing it up for 22, and then they just made 2K doing absolutely nothing. And if you keep doing that, you're literally just going to make coins over and over and over again. But he was like,
right.
with the taxes, like, your paycheck, you get your taxes taken out, and that's going to help schools, roads, or whatever it is they go to. It's like EA, these taxes, they literally go nowhere. And you made a good point. It was like, maybe if they had said, okay, this week we've made 13 million coins of taxes, we're gonna put we're gonna give away 23 Champ Baileys because that's how many taxes. If they did something like that, something with the taxes, then it'd be nice. They literally do nothing.
Exactly. It literally just takes money out of everybody's pocket. The heck with pack odds. You want more coins in your pocket. You want more of what you already paid for. And that's really the name of the game. And EA's not going to do it unless the people become, educated about it and then understand what they're actually doing. And once they understand that, it's like, hey guys, we're the ones that really feed them. Not only do we pay $60 to join the membership to get into MUT, but we go in there with the wholehearted approach of like, hey,
because it's going to cost you more money. It's going to.
Yeah, but
it doesn't have to.
When you go to the store now,
but not everybody knows how to work the system the way you do. Nobody does. So for regular people like me, it's going to cost you.
Right, but I love the game. See, like I love Madden, so I don't mind throwing back to EA. I don't mind that. The difference is I don't feel like I should have to spend 10 grand. Well, number one, I know how to do it, so I don't have to. But the thing is, like, if I want to spend 10 grand, no problem. But I want to do it the best way, and EA isn't giving me the tools to do it the best way. So I have to go to where they are giving me the tools, and I'm going to have myself in this particular case, but they're not going to help you, so you have to help yourself. And the way that you have to do that is, again, by seeking help and then trying to. If we can all come together, I think after this stuff drops and people see and then they can make more coins and that they could do this more efficiently and save themselves more money in the long run, EA will attract more customers, man. They'll keep people longer to buy more packs. You follow me? Like, I think that the end game for them is better. It's just going to take time because people have to understand that they can do this efficiently and still compete. You follow me?
Last thing I want to ask you, you had mentioned something about Mudhead yesterday. Do you feel like they're like withholding information, or they're you had mentioned they're like throwing so much stuff in your face that you can't even it takes way too long for you to even get to what it is. Like, you go to Mudhead for a few reasons, right? You want to see what the card looks like, you want to see what he's selling for, and things like that. Is there something you got like against or any information that you feel like they should have that, or something? You mentioned something.
Sure, yeah. Same thing. I love Mudhead. It's a great tool. But nowadays, it's like you get sold, when you go there to click on something, you get sold some crappy wings. No offense to Buffalo Wild Wings, but their wings are garbage. Like,
hey, they got some garlic wings, man.
Right. And I love Zan, but he hasn't had good offense ever. And they're like trying to say like he's selling his offense there. It's like, come on, Zan. You know, but you just get sold so many different things. And I love Zan. I'm just kidding. It's probably fire. But you get sold so many different things. You got to click on 25 different, maybe 6 different tabs to finally get to the price. Right. And then if you accidentally click off the screen, you go to Buffalo Wild Wings website.
I've done that handful of times.
Me too, man. It's so ridiculous. And it's like, look, I know I can spend money, Mudhead, and be a supporter, right? But it's that corporate culture, man. I get it. You got to make money and money, 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 money. But number one, I'm going to have a workaround for that too. But in the meantime, it's a great tool. But Mudhead's not perfect. And this goes back to a bigger thing, but I don't want to get too far into it now. But I do feel like EA should, similar to they had a database before showing the same stuff that Mudhead had before they had an agreement. Do you remember that when you could go actually on the EA Sports website?
I don't know.
You don't remember that? No. All right. Well, EA used to have a database of all this, and then Mudhead somehow worked out a deal to like have it proprietary on their website. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what like shut MUT Rank down, right, or something like that.
Pretty much, yeah, I think so.
They couldn't. They blocked off access to like people having, you know, access to the data, whatever it was. I don't know. There's something going on.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. It's like we're the ones that put the money into this. Like, hey, look, this guy that I'm on Skype right now, he spent $10,000. Like, he should have access to the.
That's being nice.
Yeah, it's like right. Exactly. You bought a Lexus over the amount of time that you've been doing this. It's like, EA, we should be able to have these numbers. Like, let us just see what our cards sell for. Like, track badges, track coaches. Like, why is this stuff not being tracked? Like, why? It's not that hard. It's a couple pushes of a button for them. You know what I mean? It's like, let us know what our stuff sells for. You know, it was great they brought this LB tool, and they think like that's cool. It helps some people in the auction. It deters some. But just because they hit LB doesn't mean that that's really what that card sells for. You know what I mean? It's not giving them enough information.
Yeah, which is true. And I found out firsthand yesterday, just because, you know, the cheapest Gronk is going for 150 doesn't mean you can't sell it for 180.
Right, and you don't want to sell it for 150 when it's a 180 card. And the thing is, like, think about it. Even if you hit LB, how long does it take to research the price? By the time EA screen loads, you hit B, and you go to set the price, that whole operation is like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
If you go on Mudhead, for God's sakes, to try to learn what the price card sells for, you got to click 23 times. And then they want to tell you, like, hey, we're partnering with Twitch now, so sign up for that too while you're here. And then buy some wings, you know, and then hopefully you don't hit off the screen so you can, like, see what you're looking at. But you get the point, man. It takes time. And you got to, like, refresh and log into your account 6 times. I don't know. It's just a bummer. There's a lot of stuff that could be fixed really quick. And I'd like to see some of it fixed. But, again, I don't want to harp on the tax stuff. But that would help out people so much more than pack odds, man. I can't tell you how much. They would love that. And just something to be able to, you know, have anything that gives them a better chance to have a good MUT team.
So you guys can definitely leave in the comment section your thoughts and opinions on what Dream thinks of Ultimate Team. Again, he looks at it as like a is it the right thing to say that you look at it as like a business style, like a stock market kind of thing in a way?
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, I love it. Which I do it almost full time, man. So it's something I take to heart because I love the game. I mean, you've known me since you were 1,000 subscribers in on YouTube. So yeah. It's like I love Madden. My hearts went towards the market because I love numbers, I love finance, I love the economy part of it. It's just unfortunate some of the things they've done to make extra profit where they could throw it back to the people, and more people would benefit in the long run.
And MUT University is going to help educate those people, right?
Yeah. So I know that we jumped into this talking about just some basic stuff. But yeah, guys, we're going to have a website coming up live in like a week, maybe 2 max. MUT University, it's going to be the best website, the first of its kind, revolutionary. We're going to show you guys how to basically make 1 million coins as fast as humanly possible. It will take some work. It's no different than practicing your favorite blitzes and money plays in practice mode. The new form of labbing, guys, is going to be for the geeks like myself. We're going to take it into the auction house, make millions of coins, and not spend money. Because
you will be surprised. Because yesterday you showed me the filters and the ways. You'll be surprised on how many people have no idea what they're doing with a value of their cards and stuff like that. Like, I'm literally just looking, and you know, just an hour ago, I picked up a 15K Goskowski and sold him back for like 29. And it's like, why doesn't this guy know that he goes for 30K? Why doesn't he know? And there's thousands of people like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody knows what to target for and how to find these ways to literally make coins off of people's mistakes.
Yeah,
You're
people
literally
knew.
just making coins off of other people not wanting to put in the time and effort into knowing what the value of their cards are.
Yeah. Hey, let me throw out one last thing. And people think that, like, if we took all the snipes away, right, technically, it's just like imagine a world where everybody knew what the cards really sold for, to a certain degree, right? Mm-hmm. The people needing necessity and things like real market drivers, people needing the coins to buy another card is a real thing. So people will drop their price. Yes, every card might stay stagnant. If Randy Moss is meant to sell for 2 million coins, Randy Moss will be, with no tax, technically in a perfect world, he would always be 2 million coins, right?
But the people determine the market, though. So it's tough to
exactly
say, like, how much a card is worth. Like Champ Bailey's out right now, right? If every person put him up for 9 million coins, who's to say he's not worth 9? Like, if literally everybody just undercut by 3K, 9 mil, 999, they just kept it there, who's to say the card is not worth 9 mil?
Well, because what's going to end up happening?
Nobody's going to buy him, but
no, but the guys that need the coins will inevitably start listing the cards up. I mean, that's why they say the same thing with houses, right? But a house can have technically, in those certain circumstances. But let's just keep it with the cards. In essence, yeah, like, hey, if everybody just lists their card up there for 2 mil, eventually you would just get flooded with Moss cards because there's no demand for that. So inevitably, the guy that needs the coins, that wants to make the move, he's going to lower his price. And the idiot investor is going to buy it and try to put it back up there for 2, knowing it's not going to sell. Because then he's going to take a loss because he bought too high. The name of the game is to buy low and sell high. If people are listing high, they're going to lose because they're being greedy. That's the thing, like, greed and risk and those things are the things that determine, like, help people keep economies rolling. People don't want to take too much risk, so they're going to take what they can so they can keep moving about their life. Why were you going to sit on a Randy Moss card for 3 weeks being greedy, trying to sell it for 9 mil, knowing it's only going to sell for 2? You're just wasting your time, There's a difference between what we used to do or what we can do, because we know that the card will sell for that. You just have to be patient. You have to wait for the guys that are willing to pay premium prices, knowing that these particular cards aren't up on the auction house much. And it's not price fixing, it's just knowing the market. It's different. Okay. So anyway, that's that.
Okay. So again, guys, leave in the comment section any of your thoughts and opinions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I really, really, really enjoy his thoughts and opinions on just listening to him and how he has a different outlook of things and how he compares things to, things like the stock market and real estate, and it just makes you think differently of how we're viewing these cards and how we're looking at the auction house and the market. And he puts so much time and effort. Like he mentioned ebook earlier, like you can buy an ebook from Problem and you're going to know without doing anything yourself, you're going to know these plays work. This is how you create pressure, and you're going to be able to win games off of the time and effort he put in finding this stuff out. And the same way Problem does ebooks on how to get good at the game without you spending any time finding it out yourself, he does that for the auction house, and he's able to help people get teams similar to mine with spending either a lot less or almost. Didn't he say you and your buddy did like a 0 to 1 million challenge, right? Like, yeah, you started with literally just the free coins you got from entering the game?
Well, we actually had to start. We did like 0 to 1 million coins, starting from 0, doing those first set of solos. We got like 20K plus the packs. So we started with by the time we got out of those first challenges, like in the hour, I think we ended up with like 40-some thousand. And then we went to 1 million coins with 0 guys in about the equivalent of 24 hours of playing time, which is pretty crazy.
And you wouldn't think that's possible, but, doing things like putting your card 6th in line, knowing it's going to sell, is definitely a big difference. Now imagine if I made an extra 25% off every card I sold, just being patient. I would make so much more. Yeah. And I would never thought of that. Like I said, your process of knowing this card sells, be patient, put it up there. Okay, there's 6 cards ahead of yours, but it's going to sell. You just have to be patient. Waking up and seeing that card sold, that's it. I was sold. I was okay. Yeah. I'm never going to question you again.
See, that's the thing. And I guess we could do this all day, so I'll stop. But guys, you just want to take the coins that you have. Think about it as interest. So if you make 10% a day on your coins make coins, money make money. If you got 1 million coins, you're making 10% a day. Like I was basically trying to show GS yesterday, just for an example. That would be 100,000 coins possibly an hour, every 6 hours, every 12 hours. And you start doing compound math. Think about what happens when you get to 2 million. then you're making 10%. You're making 200,000 coins a day, an hour, every 6 hours, every 12. You know what I mean? And then sky's the limit.
You're literally just adding, from if you do this every day, from, you start from Sunday to Saturday, you get 10%. Like you say, you keep growing. Whatever new card comes out, you're going to be able to get just off of building like you said, the interest alone, just getting that 10%. Just which is crazy. I made just doing. I probably put 3 hours in yesterday using your filters. I made about 300K.
That's good.
It's crazy.
Yeah, see, and that's probably. Think about how many packs you would have had to have bought and how many cards you would have had to have sold without, some pretty extreme luck to get that same fate or get that same ending. It would have taken you how long to list all those cards, do the research, blah, blah, blah. Like these ones, we're telling these guys, like, look, guys, we've done the research. Buy these cards so you already know what you're buying. So when you turn around and sell them, you already understand what you bought. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's truly revolutionary. There's not a single person that I can think of that is going to really teach you how to use the auction block, how to use the trade block in ways like that, and how to profit. Like that's crazy. And to think that you can just gain this knowledge and get better cards with spending less, like, yeah, nobody's doing that, which is crazy.
No. It will take work. It will take time. But when you understand,
it takes patience.
And definitely patience. But now again, it's not going to be. I'm not going to tell anybody, hey, look, you're going to have Mr. Gold Sports team, because think about it. He spent 10 grand. You're trying to spend zero. It's very hard to compete with Mr. Gold Sports. It would take a lot of time to make up for the money he's spending. You understand that? I can not like that dynamic there. But for the average guy, they're not trying to sometimes have the best team. They're just trying to have a more competitive team. They're trying to not spend their paycheck on Madden so they can spend it on their girlfriend or themselves or save it, pay off their college loan, but still enjoy Madden and not throw their controller at their TV because they can't compete with the guys that have the 99 teams. You know what I mean?
Oh, we've all been there where we've faced, like when we first started MUT, we've all been there where whenever you first started, we all ran into that one team that we knew we should have beaten, but we just couldn't compete because his team was better. And what's the first thing you say? Damn it, I shouldn't have lost to him. I'll never forget. The first time I ever lost was in Madden 13, and I lost to somebody, and he was a bum. But he had Ndamukong Suh and he had Warren Sapp, and they were block shedding everything. I couldn't run, I couldn't pass, I couldn't do anything. And that's when I really first started spending money. I shouldn't have lost to him. His team is far better than mine. I can't keep losing to people like this because it's frustrating. What can I do to compete? I need a better team. How can I get a better team? I'm going to spend money. And I started spending money, not knowing there's a way where I can spend a lot less. But
soon enough. Now you know.
So again, hopefully you guys enjoy. Leave in the comment section. I'd love to know you guys' feedback. See you guys next time. Any closing words, Dream?
That's it, man. I appreciate your time. And any guys out there, we appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. I know I've been missing in the scene, but I'm going to be back here soon. I've just been trying to get this gem finished up and out to the public.
Oh, you've been working on this for years. When I say years, you guys don't understand how much. Like, this isn't something he just thought of last Tuesday. He's been working on this for years.
Yeah, stupid. Like I live the caveman life right now, but it's all good. You guys are gonna love it, man. I got even one more special treat. Should we even tell them about? Should I even tell them about the item binder clear, or is it too early for that?
I think that's something they should learn when they visit the website. When
okay, yeah, let's do that. All right, cool. Let's do that.
Appreciate your time, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
All right.